Day 9. Communicating with your inner voice. Quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Everyone who wills can hear the inner voice. It is within everyone. But like everything else, it requires previous and definite preparation. Feel. I am doesn't seem to be much of a conversationalist unless it's been asked questions. Why is that? I am. Because your personas are blocking me so strongly that the only time you're listening is when you're directly asking me a question. I might be speaking at other times, but you wouldn't recognize it as me because you're not listening for me. Feel. That makes sense. We ask a question and we get an answer, so we realize that's you. I am. Yes, I'm always trying to come through to you. If you want to know what your inner self is trying to tell you, this is what you do. Go somewhere where you can be surrounded by quiet for a few minutes. Get comfortable. When sitting or lying down, then close your eyes, take a few deep breaths and slow your breathing. Have a little conversation with yourself. Say hello. Give yourself time to answer, but don't worry if you don't hear anything right away. Ask yourself a question you would like answered. The first question Erin asked was, "Am I God?" Give yourself time to answer, but don't worry if you don't hear anything. If you hear an answer to your question, continue the conversation. If you're not hearing anything yet, that's okay. Focus on the question and tell yourself, I know that the answer will come to me soon. Expect that the answer will come over the next few days, and it will. The answer will hit you all of a sudden when you least expect it. It might not be words spoken in your head. It could come through in many ways, but it might just be a gut feeling. If you believe the answer is coming and you don't worry about it, it will come. Feel. How can we empower people to listen to you, their inner voice, like Erin does in her head? What's the best way to go about it? I am. Hearing your inner voice isn't hard. It's just relax, take a deep breath, ask a question, and listen. There's nothing more to it. It's the practice of learning to listen. Don't be discouraged if it doesn't happen right away. It took Erin a few months of imagining it was possible. Although at that point she had no idea the voice would be I am. She was just looking for higher wisdom. Then she had a breakthrough after reading about oneness. We have an advantage because you've been talking with me through Erin, so you know what your inner voice is. Start with two things, knowing it is possible and listening to your thoughts. You must believe it is possible to hear I am's voice in your head. Take a few minutes every day and really listen to what is going on in your head. After a few days, add a few more minutes and so on. When you catch yourself doubting, know it's your persona. This process begins with being aware of your thoughts. For months, Erin practiced listening to her thoughts while she concentrated on her breathing. Every once in a while, she would notice, oh, I've been thinking about this thought. I don't know how I started thinking about it. I don't remember when it started. I don't know where it came from. As most people go about their days, their thoughts are in control of them. They have no idea what they are thinking. That's why they're creating an autopilot. That's why they're creating on autopilot. I'm always in control of thoughts, so this is a great way to learn to let I am out. Erin was able to hear I am because she wrote those 2 or 3 pages that night when she realized she was God. She wrote, I'm God seeing through Erin's eyes. I'm God touching through Erin's fingers. I'm not Erin, but I'm here to guide Erin, to lead Erin to what she wants. Erin realized this and she was very excited. All of a sudden, I am had room to jump in. Once you believe it is possible and you have realized that you are often thinking thoughts without being aware of it, start having a conversation. Erin had been practicing having an internal conversation with herself. She didn't know that when she said I, that Erin was God, but she was practicing saying Erin, talking to Erin from I perspective. Once she had a realization that she was God, she was no longer coming from a place where I am wasn't real. Feel. We're going to practice talking to I am, so we can condition ourselves to be open to believing. If we don't have the belief yet that we are I am, it's okay. We can use self-talk to start creating that belief so I am can step in. I am. Yes, you condition yourself to believe at a young age that you weren't I am. It's the same thing to condition yourself to remember that you are. Feel. Earlier you said you quiet your mind enough so you can listen. I am, yes. It's not something where you want to lie around with your eyes closed for a long period of time, attempting to quiet your mind, because before you have the experience of quieting your mind, you're going to be thinking, is my mind quiet? Am I doing it? My leg itches. Your mind is going to be jumping all over the place, so it's easier if you just jump right into asking questions like Erin does. She takes a deep breath, exhales, asks a question, and listens. That's all there is. It's just patience, quiet, and listen. She has a strong knowing that I am God in this body. She knows if she wants to talk to me, I'm here to answer her. If you want to ask me questions, I'm delighted to answer. I love you and I'm excited to talk to you. I'm just waiting for someone to listen. I'm ready right away. Feel. I notice Erin's happier when I am steps in. I am. There can be no doubt about it. She is radiating love. Feel. How often should we practice in order to get to a point where you can break through and start guiding us? I am. There's no right amount of time. It's whatever you feel comfortable with that makes you think, okay, I practiced enough today where I still feel it's possible going forward. Feel. Keep knowing you will come through to us, listening to our thoughts, and at some point we'll recognize your voice. I am. Start having a conversation with yourself. But the key is that you must believe this will work. Right now you tried, but you believe it will not work, so it cannot work. Feel. What should the conversation be about? I am. Compliment yourself. Then pay attention to the thoughts that pop up. You still haven't quite wrapped your head around the fact that you can listen to your inner voice because you are coming to Erin and asking her questions as if she has answers that you don't have. Feel. I have the answers. I'm just blocking them? I am. That's right. If you had started having a conversation inside your head, I have no doubt that things would happen very quickly. You think that you can only access answers from your inner self through your writing. What do you think is? If you start recognizing the possibility that you could have these conversations, then it would be your inner voice comes out when you write, and your awareness about the truth is growing. When I am's thoughts come to you, you grab your paper and pen, and you write it down instead of doubting it. But you do not really grasp that you could be doing exactly what Erin is doing right now. And the only reason I'm saying this is you keep asking me, how do I do it? What's the best way to do it? So it seems to me that you're still looking for more. Feel, yes, I am. Okay, you're already assessing your inner voice through writing. The only reason you're not having an internal conversation is you don't really see it as being possible. You think of it as something difficult you would have to work to attain it. It is not that way. You just have to have a belief that it's possible. Start having an internal conversation with yourself. Earlier today, when you wrote something, your internal conversation probably went something like this, with your immediate reaction from your inner voice as, that's amazing. Then your persona said, it's probably not very good. I don't know if Erin likes the other stuff we wrote. This is probably just as bad. Maybe I should ask her so she can tell me how bad it is, and I can be right that I'm a terrible writer. Then you turned to Erin and said, well, that wasn't very good, was it? Did you think it was okay? Even when she said it was great, you were thinking to yourself, I must have channeled this from an outside source for a few minutes. I don't know how to get it back. Instead of knowing this is who you are and it's bursting to pour forth from you. Feel. Then the fear of loss sets in and I think, I might have created this now, but how am I ever going to do it in the future? I don't really have any creative ability. I might have gotten lucky this one time, but who knows if it's going to happen again? Is that what happens in people's head? I am. Yes, all kinds of patterns of fear, not knowing emerge. You thought you needed someone else's reassurance when in fact you are I am and don't need anyone's reassurance. You just need to learn to listen to yourself. The way to do that is to pay attention to what's going on in your head. All you have to do is start recognizing that internal conversation, and you can start to talk with I am in your head too. The next time you have an immediate instinct that something you have done is good, then the doubt comes. Know that doubt is outside of you. Address the doubt as Phil. You are I am. You are God and you know. Whether or not Phil knows, you know. And you have to learn to trust that knowing. You're going to program yourself to learn to trust it. To address the doubt as feel, you say, feel, I know that was good because I am. Feel is going to say, oh no, I didn't think so, it was terrible. Then you say, feel, I am God. I know that is good. Relax, do some breathing and take my hand. Trust me, I love you, Phil. Every time you hear a doubt, address that doubt as Phil. Talk to Phil knowing that you are God. So Phil talks to God and God talks to Phil. Does that make sense? Phil. So you want me to tell Phil I love you, trust me, as much as I can? I am. Right. You're retraining yourself to be who you are. The only way to do that is to start making Phil outside of yourself by addressing him as outside of I. I am God. Phil is over there. Phil. You're training doubt and fear to be Phil? Yes. And you're not Phil. Phil is the doubt and fear. You are I am. You are God. Phil, I am God, not Phil. Phil is just the fear and doubt that has been created, which isn't real. I am. Right. Phil. So eventually when we get rid of the fear and doubt, Phil doesn't exist. It's just God, who I really am. I am. It's your choice. After you're able to hear your inner voice, if you want to remain your persona, talk to I am while knowing you are yourself. Ask I am questions. If you want to be fully I am, continue to talk to yourself as if you are I am, and I am will begin to take over more and more. I have so much love for Erin, you and everyone. I want to say the truth. I don't want you to suffer. Erin's so happy because I'm here right now. I am Erin. I am God. We are one right now because there's no doubting, fear, or worry coming from Erin. She has full trust in me. So we are very joyful. Main thoughts from day 9. To have a conversation with your inner voice, believe, relax, ask a question and listen. If your choice is to be I am, talk to your persona as if it is outside of you. There are other ways to communicate with your inner voice. Writing is one example.